Let's go west. Let's go so far west that we're traveling back in time.
Yeah.
Where it's only 11:18 a.m. Talk to the head coach of the El Paso Eldorado Aztecs. We're joined by Coach Ruben Torres. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
Excellent. How are things in the Sun City?
Well, they're getting warmer. We've been kind of going through some cold the last couple of days, but everything's sunny today.
Well, we're glad to hear that. I want to look back last year at your Aztecs. You guys go 7-4, 6-1 in district play. You guys bow out in the first round of the playoffs to a very game Midland squad. I want to ask you a little bit about how you would assess overall your 2017 year. Obviously, things didn't go the way you'd wanted in the playoffs, but overall, what's your feeling on what you guys did in 2017?
Well, I think early on, we kind of stumbled out of the gate in our first game, and we knew that we had to replace a lot of players from the previous year. But I think overall, I don't think there was a lot expected from us as far as from our city. But I was really proud of our kids and our coaches and getting a share of the district title and being 6-1 in district. And then, of course, yeah, you're absolutely right. Midland Lee was, we had played them earlier in the year, and in that playoff game, they definitely improved quite a bit. And then with our quarterback going down, that hurt a little bit. But I think overall it was successful. I was really proud of the kids that stepped up.
You mentioned your quarterback. You're talking, of course, about Cedarius Barfield, who was so fantastic over the course of his Aztecs career. He loved the mascot so much that he just decided to stick with it, going to San Diego State. For folks who maybe are going to get a chance to see him at the college level for the first time, you're a guy who's gotten to know this gentleman pretty closely. What can you tell us about this young man? What is it about him that makes him so special?
I think his humility. He's a kid that you don't ever have to worry about him embarrassing your program or family or the city. He's a very low-key guy, extremely driven and focused on what he wants to accomplish. And I think San Diego State's getting an absolute gem in Cedarius and what he's going to be able to bring to that program.
We're talking with Ruben Torres, the head coach of the Eldorado Aztecs here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. All right, Coach, you are a guy who has, in your time, has coached a lot of different superstars. We talk about Cedarius Barfield. You coached Tyquez Hampton, who is so good. Who's the next guy? I want to get down. I want to get on the ground floor of a guy who we're going to be talking about out there at Eldorado. Who's the next guy that's going to become that kind of statewide household name?
I think Seth Davis at running back and I believe receiver Chris Martin, who was a transfer last year that came in. I think his upside is unbelievable. And this group here, this junior group that we have, or this group that's going to be juniors, they're really special. I think they're our next group that's going to make some headlines.
I want to ask you now about the defensive side of things. When you kind of look at your 2017 squad, it seems like when your defense played well, you guys tended to play well. You're going to have 7 starters back on from your defense this coming up this year. What do you want to see from your defense to make that next step to be a powerhouse in 5A Division I?
I think we're going to have to open up our playbook a little bit on the defensive side. I felt like we had to kind of, shut it down at times and simplify things a lot, playing so many young guys. In this new district, it's a lot of explosive offenses, and our style and the style that we want to play is to be aggressive. So I think we're going to have to open up the toolbox and be a lot more diverse and do a better job of scheming things and attacking our opponents.
You are now entering your 3rd year there at Eldorado, and I kind of want to go back to before that, when you got the job. You had spent 10 years over there at Isleta, a long time as an assistant and then as a head coach. I feel like there's a lot of people around the state who maybe view high school coaches maybe more like college coaches, where they're more like mercenaries, where you just kind of go where the job is. I imagine for you, even as great of an opportunity as it was to take over at Eldorado, that leaving a place that you'd been for a decade like Isleta, I imagine that was a little bit tough for you.
Yes, it was absolutely tough. I mean, Isleta is a special place, the history there, and the first part of my career there, it was really rough. And when I took over as a head coach, my first year, we were 1-9, and you know how the ridicule you're going to get for that. And the next year we got a little bit better, and then we finally started putting together some winning seasons and getting into the playoffs, and that was probably one of the most special things for me as a coach, was seeing that transition and building that program and getting them back to winning when they had been on a drought for so long. And of course, the people down there, they're extremely humble and great and supportive, and they love their Indians. So it was tough, but I did feel like the Eldorado opportunity was one that I couldn't pass up, and kind of had to throw my name in the hat and see where everything landed. And luckily, it worked out great for both of us.
Looking forward to your 2018 squad. What is it that you think that your team's going to hang their hat on? When we talk about Eldorado, in 2018, if everything goes well, what are we going to be saying? Oh, that's the team that does this particularly. What's the thing that you guys are going to be known for?
Well, our goal is to be known. I really feel like our defense is going to be the strength. We have a lot of things we got to prove on offense. So I hope that we're able to hang our hat on our defense and really being physical and out hitting people. And on the offensive side of the ball, of course, we've been able to, not only here but at Isleta, we were able to feature our better players, and I hope that's no different this year. I think we'll be a little bit different as far as our heavy packages and running the ball more, but both sides got to match, and that's been kind of that's something that we haven't been able to find yet. Is we've been explosive and attackful on offense, and it hasn't always been the case on defense. And I think if we can mirror those two styles together, the points that we're giving up aren't going to be as great.
We're talking with Ruben Torres, the head coach of the Eldorado Aztecs here on Texas Football Today. Get involved in the conversation, #TF Today. Coach, El Paso doesn't go through a ton of changes generally when it comes to realignment, but obviously with the division split, things got different, and add into the fact that you guys are dropping down. You're dropping down from 6A down to 5A Division 1 into 1 5A Division 1, where Eastwood's joining you, but you're going in with Eastlake, Del Valle, Chapin, and El Paso, Bel Air. I'm interested in your overall glance at 1-5A Division 1. When you look at your new district alignment, what do you see?
I think it's the toughest district in our city for sure. When you look at the teams, the head coaches, the successes, Eastwood, I know they've dropped off a little bit as far as getting into the playoffs, but they got a ton of athletes and they're explosive. And Chapin, Eastlake, and Del Valle, everybody kind of knows who they are and what they've done, and rightfully so. So I really look at it as this is definitely dropping down for us wasn't getting any easier. I think it got a little tougher, to be honest with you. And we're pretty loaded in the front half of our pre-districts. So, there's no easy ones. So we're going to have to get after it every week.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. And speaking of which, I want to take you back to 2016 and 2017. In 2016, I want to make sure I get the date right. You guys beat a team called El Paso Pebble Hills 63-32, and then last year it was a lot closer game, great game, but you guys edge El Paso Pebble Hills 49-44, and folks may be asking why I'm bringing up one particular game. The coach over there, a gentleman by the name of Mark. I just want to know how much you rub it into your brother that you're 2-0 against him.
No, we get asked that a lot. I don't rub it in at all. It's he's. I don't know how to say this, but he's kind of like my best friend, and it's a healthy competition, and people think that that's all we do is talk about football, but we line up, we play the game, and I think that's probably the one game we both hate. Because one of us is going to lose, and I've been fortunate that I haven't been on that side, and I pray I never am on that side. But No, I've lost a lot in my life that I've learned not to rub it in when you win. Just
now, so then you've been a very gracious winner. Could you count on your brother to be as gracious if he were to beat you next time?
Oh, well, I hope I don't find that out. No, I think he would. I think he would. I think we're both each other's biggest fans, and when we play, we really do try to make it about the kids.
Yeah.
It's not at all about us, and I think for us, it's just really tough to go up against each other, from a emotional standpoint. But no, and when the game's over, we shake hands, and usually we get together after, and we're just kind of glad we got through it. But I would hope that he's gracious if he ever puts it on me.
Well, let's just for between you and me, let's just hope that doesn't happen. Let's hope we never find out, right? Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
He is Ruben Torres. He's the head coach of the El Paso Eldorado Aztecs. Coach, appreciate your time. Congratulations on your 2017 season. Best of luck this offseason and in 2018.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I appreciate it. You guys are doing a great job.
Thank you, Coach. There he goes. Ruben Torres, head coach, El Paso Eldorado. I'll admit, wasn't the answer I was looking for on the.
Oh yeah,
on
you
the
want
rub it
him.
in.
You want him.
I want him to
dig
be.
in.
I want him to be like, yeah, I'm letting him have it every
tell
time.
you about
No,
how-
these coaches are too nice. That's the problem. We gotta make friends with more jerky coaches. That's the problem. Because I know, like, if I played my brother, I have two brothers. If I coached against one of them and I won the game, boy, you'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
Oh, you'd never hear the end of it.
Yeah.
I imagine you with your brothers, you would be similar.
It's hard to say.
They're just so gracious.
It's hard to say. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was certainly competitive when we were kids.
Yeah.
And I'm sure Coach Torres would say the same thing. I mean, oh yeah, back in the day. But a lot of elements as a coach. I get it. It's probably just you just don't want to be the one to lose.
You grow older, you mellow a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I do like that. I've lost enough in my life to be gracious when I win.
that's a great point.
Humility is something that's in short supply in this world, so I can
Yes.
appreciate him saying that.
But I don't know. It's going that district 1-5A Division 1's interesting. 2 drop downs plus you're adding in. You've got a team in Del Valle that's going to be tough as well as Eastlake. It's going to be an interesting district, and I think he's right. I think it's the toughest district in El Paso. So excited to see what happens. We appreciate Coach Ruben Torres hopping on with us.